We are live again?
Oh.
Wow. So this is the third time we're doing this. All right. Well, welcome to the third The Legends Comicast. Pretty excited about it. With me, as always, is Mr. Garrett Gilmore.
Hi.
Christopher Bird.
Hello.
Cyborg himself, Jordan Roach.
I knew it!
Couldn't even make it through this. How's it going, everybody?
And me, Nick Isolde.
And no longer with us, Nick.
Yeah, and this will actually probably be my last comic cast because I'm getting kicked off for not even being able to go 5 minutes without making a Cyborg is a terrible Justice League member joke. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for everybody who has liked our Facebook page, subscribed to us, visited our YouTube channel. This is our third comic cast. It's pretty fun for us to get all this stuff together and get a chance to talk about comic books all week. We do a really good job of getting everything together within the last 30 minutes before the comic cast goes live. Again, we're welcome to any input that you guys have out there, so follow us on Facebook, post comments on our wall, let us know what you guys like, let us know what you dislike, and we will be happy to take all your feedback. We'll answer anything you guys have as it comes. We are recently improved. If you guys are checking out our Twitch page, at the bottom you will see tons and tons and tons of improvements that Garrett Gilmore, our master of the interwebs, has done for us.
He's
so we have
the actual cyborg of our group.
Yeah, that's
going to make that joke.
I know. I fall flat on my face a lot. I just got so much pressure to make a good cyborg joke, and I ruined it. I'm sorry, guys. I let everyone down. I just wanted to be on the team so bad. So we have an About Us page on there. We have a Follow the Corpse button there, which is pretty cool. So that'll take you a link to our Facebook page and our Twitter page. We're probably going to put a link on there for our YouTube and stuff like that. It's already under More Content. I'm sorry, not paying attention. Under the More Content one, we have a link to our YouTube page, a link to the Twitch page, which is where we do our live streams, as you can probably tell since you're here right now. Then we have our frequently asked questions and some of the rules of the forum. Mostly it's primarily don't spam, respect the other people that are in here, try not to post too many ridiculous things, and try not to be too offensive in our comments section because we block anything that's too bad in there.
Just don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
That's actually the only rule.
Yeah. Then the last one here is Deadpool. And Deadpool's a merc who likes money. So if you actually if you have a couple extra bucks sitting around and you want to donate some money, we have a PayPal account set up. Not a big deal, but anything that you guys put in is going to come back in the form of better technology and resources for us to improve the Comicast as we go on.
Better cars for us to drive.
Yeah. I mean, how do I even get from point A to point B without a Lambo? And I mean, we're going to improve the cast with it, and we'll also be able to hopefully provide you guys with better prizes. So whatever we get put into this is what we're going to get back out. I know that nobody here is planning on taking someone's money and using it for something stupid, but anything that you guys donate will come back to the form of you and a gift or something like that. So it should be pretty cool. Today's Comicast is actually sponsored by Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming in Morgantown Mall, West Virginia. So if you were listening and you were not from West Virginia, send them an email. Go to their website. Call them on the phone. Just talk to them. Ron Davis is there. Dane Luman's there. They'll probably talk to you. They got time. They are actually going to be giving away a couple different things for this Comicast. I know that's why half of you guys tuned in, so I'm pretty pumped about it. If you tuned in, today's giveaways, and we will talk about last week's giveaways at the end of the show. The first one is Forever Evil #1. We're going to be giving that away as a comic. It's only a couple bucks, but it's going to be kind of your consolation prize for the person who has the second best comment that we have on here. The major prize is Four Horsemen's going to be giving away a 3-month subscription, which to Superior Spider-Man. Superior Spider-Man is actually a bi-monthly title, so that's a total of 6 issues. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, if you want a good jumping on point for a series that we're going to be talking about later today, it's going to be really cool. But there are a couple things you have to do to be able to be eligible to win that. The first is you have to like us on Facebook, you have to subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on Twitch if you can as well, and then you actually have to comment on our YouTube video. So we had some technical difficulties last week that stopped us from being able to get the last cast up on YouTube until today. So it's up now. So if you're on YouTube, if you found our webpage, then go ahead and leave a comment on there, and you'll still be eligible to win last week's prizes, which was a Deadpool variant for Mighty Avengers #1 and a Thor variant for Thor God of Thunder #13, which was the Thor, the Chris Hemsworth variant, which is pretty cool. So, all right, we are moving on. That is the beginning of our show. I'm pretty pumped. 6 minutes in. Does anybody need to take a break? And drink some of my soda.
I have to pee.
I'm good. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about today, we're going to jump right into comics. Got a little bit of feedback from some people last time who listened to the cast, and one of the things that we wanted to do, and I know that one of the things that a lot of people that listened wanted us to do, is spend a little bit more time on the actual titles. After all, it is quality and not quantity. So we are going to talk about 2 books today, Forever Evil and Superior Spider-Man. So we're going to start with Forever Evil. There was some assigned reading, so everyone, except Chris Bird, got around to actually reading all of the titles and being up on them. So there's a couple different topics we're going to talk about with Forever Evil. So I'm going to kind of launch into giving you a background on it, and then I'm going to open it up because I've been talking for like 8 minutes straight. So Forever Evil is the first crossover, series-wide or universe-wide crossover event for DC. And basically it comes out of last year's big event, which was the Trinity War and the fallout from there. So the premise of the story is that at this point, spoiler alert, all of the Justice Leagues are presumed by the general DC universe to be dead. So the Justice League of America, and the Justice League Dark are all presumed to be dead. If you're reading it, you are slowly finding out what has happened to them. But if you are a fictional character in that universe, right now you presume them to be dead. There were some events that happened at the end of Trinity War that led to people believing that the Justice League's dead. But if you haven't read that, I won't ruin it for you. So go out, pick up Trinity War. In my opinion, it's a very Jeff Johns-esque crossover event. I think Chris Bird summed it up best last week when he said it just seems like at the end of every one of his arcs, he just goes, well, let's move on to the next thing. So first we're going to talk about the Crime Syndicate. The Crime Syndicate is the main villains of Forever Evil. And Crime Syndicate consists of 7 members and 1 dead member. 7 members, 6 members and 1 dead member. You can see pretty much all of them on the screen right now. You have Ultraman, Superwoman, Owlman, Power Ring, Deathstorm, Grid, and then the deceased member currently is Sea King. So what do you guys think of these?
Sea King, Omastar.
What do you guys think of these guys? What are these characters?
Owlman is a terrible name.
Yeah, that's.
He's been around. He's been a guy for a while.
Yeah, he's been a thing for a
That
while.
doesn't make it any better.
Yeah.
I mean, Batman's not a
in the
great...
animated movie, James Woods did the voice of Sea King, and it really threw me off because I was just
Wait,
like,
didn't he do Owlman?
Yeah.
You said Sea King.
Oh, sorry, I meant Owlman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sea King wasn't in that.
It was terrible. It was like, I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was just like, it was so weird. He wasn't the right fit, in my opinion.
So let's go over these. These characters. I'm gonna go over my personal favorite because he is the evil version of Superman, who's my favorite comic book character, and that's Ultraman. Ultraman is the leader of the Crime Syndicate. He has the pretty much the exact same powers as Superman, except his vulnerabilities and strengths are kind of flip flopped. So Superman's powered by the sun's light, and he is hurt by kryptonite, whereas where Ultraman is powered by kryptonite that he like basically crushes and huffs like it's crystal meth, and he actually is weak to sunlight. So he's pretty much a psychopath. He's the exact opposite of what Superman represents. He's like a complete and utter sociopath. Garrick, do you want to take Owlman?
Yeah. Owlman is, in my opinion, he has a lot of similarities to Batman, except for the fact that he's crazy and evil.
Kind of a jerk.
Yeah, kind of a jerk. They like to work alone. He also has a thing for the ladies. No spoilers, but him and Superwoman have something going on. But he's a lot like Batman in a lot of ways. Dark, brooding, smart, calculating. But he likes to work alone. He likes to keep a lot of his plans secret from the rest of the group. So he's really in it for himself at the end of the day.
So we got Ultraman and Owlman out of the way. I'll take Superwoman because probably nobody really wants to describe Superwoman. She is Superwoman is Wonder Woman's antithesis. She is the badass female of the suicide or of the crime syndicate here. I haven't really learned a whole lot about her because I'm not reading any of the side stuff, but there's an element to her character that which I won't ruin for you because Garrett kind of alluded to it, and if you're going to read Forever Evil, then you'll pick it up. It's in the second or third issue when they mention it. But there's something that's going on with her that leads her to kind of have a change of heart almost, or maybe even a little bit of a different perspective than some of the other members of the group. But she's not as one-dimensional as some of the other characters. I forgot to mention Johnny Quick. Johnny Quick is another member of the crime syndicate. I forgot to write him down. Johnny Quick is the evil Flash. He's basically a murderer. He was a Bonnie and Clyde type murderer who gets his powers from like a lightning rod / chemical spill. Same thing as the Flash. He's pretty neat. Who wants to go over Deathstorm, Sea King, and Grid? Jordan, you want to go over those guys since you haven't said a whole lot?
I'll go over the ones that I know a lot about. So Grid is pretty much Cyborg, the robot part. So the robot part of Cyborg decided that it didn't need the human part anymore and just separated itself, and that is Grid. And he kind of just chills in the background and is over the whole operation. I don't think he's moved out of the room that he's in the entire series so far.
He just seems to hang out and be the internet.
The other two guys, basically, yeah, just be the internet. The other two guys I'm not as familiar with. I know the Power Ring. Power Ring is kind of Green Lantern's parallel. And all I can tell so far about him is that he hasn't had the ring very long, doesn't really know how to use it, and is pretty much just complaining the whole time.
His ring is actually powered by the reverse of what powers Green Lantern's ring, which is willpower. So he's actually kind of fueled by weakness. So when he puts the ring on, the reason it chose him is because he's really weak-willed, and the ring kind of screams at him and calls him names and tears him down, which is awesome because like I wish my jewelry made me feel like crap about myself. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
then the last two are Sea King and Deathstorm. So Deathstorm is the crime syndicate version of Firestorm. He's basically the living Matrix, the living death Matrix. And then Sea King doesn't matter because he's dead. He
doesn't even make the trip.
Yeah, he sucked so bad he didn't even make the voyage. Like,
but he looks really cool. Like
Poor guy.
The beard, the hook arm.
He looks like the '90s version of Aquaman.
Yeah,
when they rebooted him and they were like, yeah, let's make him like Fabio with a pirate hook kind of Captain Hook kind of thing going on. So that's the members of the crime syndicate. They're ruling over the world pretty much evilly, or whatever you want to put it as. Their foe in this series is Lex Luthor's Secret Society of Supervillains is what he calls them, which is a mouthful if you think of it. They're if you're looking at the screen right now, the picture all the way on the right. Um, so, what are you guys thinking of the story so far?
I like the story a lot so far. There's a couple similarities to stuff that we've seen before. Um, but as far as the writing and art direction goes, I like it a lot. I like the relationship that Lex Luthor is kind of like building with the other villains in this like kind of desperate hour where they don't really like each other, but they just have to deal with each other to.
It's a lot like the members of this Comicast.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
I
Something like that,
completely
yeah.
hate everyone here, but
Mhm.
we have our strengths and weaknesses, and I kind of need you guys. So
yeah, exactly.
I feel like the first few issues, they've started off kind of slow. It's kind of picking up now. I'm really liking some of the relationships, like Garrick was saying, especially Lex and Bizarro's relationship is getting kind of interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Where Lex is pretty much like his father figure. Bizarro's finally starting to talk a little bit.
He has like the mental capacity of like a 5-year-old kid, or
Yeah.
like a 2-year-old kid. So he knows like good and bad and stuff like that. It's like basically beating your dog into submission, but
Also
um,
scared of the dark. Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. It's pretty cool.
My
Yeah,
my
it kind of
biggest
makes you
complaint-
sympathize with Lex.
my biggest complaint so far, I think, is just the crime syndicate themselves, with the possible exception of Owlman. That they're all just kind of really, really petty characters. They don't have a lot of depth. I just don't care. I mean, Ultraman is just a kryptonite huffing junkie who runs around punching people, and there's not much more there to him. I mean, Swoop Woman's kind of trifling, and it's
Yeah, a little
kind
bit.
of kind of
Kind of.
like there's
She's
nothing there
very
that I
trifling.
care about. They don't even make me dislike them. I just don't care, and I still don't fully understand their motivations. Like I know that they're running away from something that we don't
Something.
really know about.
Yeah,
Someone.
that brings me to my next point. So there's an underlying theme that in Forever Evil that this crime syndicate shows up from their Earth, and they're interested in taking over ours, and they brought with them a man who's restrained and he has a hood over his head. So they have another member with them that they're talking about like he's the boogeyman. And so far, everyone in the series has just referred to this person as the Hooded Man. And there's a lot of speculation on who this person is and why the crime syndicate has him shackled and a hood over his head. Who do you guys think that person might be?
I actually have. I don't. I have no clue. But I'm sure when they show it, I'll feel like an idiot and be like, "Of course, I'm sure." But I really don't know.
I'm in about the same boat as Garrick. I'm not really sure.
I don't even have a guess.
I don't know.
Like-
So
Is it Scarecrow? I
like-
don't know.
in some of the older series, and even in just the cartoons, the crime syndicate's villains were basically like that Earth's Justice League was this Earth's league of pretty bad dudes. So,
League
and
of
their leader
Doom?
was the Joker, and he was kind of badass.
Could be the Joker. That's
I
true.
guess it could be, but there's a line in like what is it? I think it's the second issue. It's whenever they capture Dick, when they say that they can like throw the hooded man at whatever's chasing them, like it makes me think that he's kind of a badass. And and Ultraman's the one who doesn't want them to execute or screw with this guy who's keeping him alive, which also makes me assume that it's not a Batman related character. It's got to be something.
Could be Lex Luthor or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have two theories on who it is. One is Lex Luthor from that dimension, but I kind of feel like that would be the easy way out for them.
Uh huh.
And if there's one thing I know about Jeff Johns, it's that he he doesn't always pick the most obvious choice because he does like to bring back some of these characters that you haven't thought of or heard about for a while, which is a reason that for some reason I'm leaning towards Jonathan Kent.
That would be cool.
So I'm thinking it's possible that Superman's father or Ultraman's father in this Earth 3 universe is the person that they're most afraid of. Because but it could be possible. It's probably not because there's a scene where Ultraman kills his family, but you never know. There could be some other supernatural thing, or there could be something else. It could be like a Thomas Wayne type character, even though they've killed Owlman's family. But I think the most logical choice right now is that it's Owlman, or not Owlman. It's Lex Luthor or Alexander Luthor or one of these guys. But again, Jeff Johns isn't always the most topical, so sometimes he might pick somebody that you don't know. So it is possible. Um, I'm not sure. I kind of zoned out for a second. I'm not sure if someone mentioned this, but it could be um, it could be a Nightwing, but another character too that no one's mentioned that I've seen is Damian Wayne,
Uh-huh.
because they don't really mention a whole lot about Jason Todd or Damian Wayne from that universe, but it's just it's wide open in the air. It could be literally any number of people,
Yeah,
but
I mean, it could be like a Connor Kent. It could be like another an Ultraman clone, like his version of Superboy.
Hmm.
Because I mean, if Lex Luthor made Bizarro in this universe, then you can assume that maybe something was made on that universe. That'd be cool.
um, so
Also,
go ahead.
the thing that's following them, so it's supposed to be an alien that's like destroying worlds. So if it's the Anti-Monitor, then it could be one of the characters from one of the original
Yeah, they,
Crisis.
there's a whole
Crises.
world. There's a whole world of possibilities there. Everything
Which
from it could be
Crypto,
uh,
Superdog.
it could. I think another logical choice that no one's mentioning is that universe's Martian Manhunter, because
Right.
they haven't. There is no crime syndicate equivalent of Martian Manhunter, yet he's in the Justice League of America.
But
Uh-huh.
So
how do you tie up any version of the Martian Manhunter? They
uh,
won't allow it.
Set him on fire.
his everyone knows that Martian Manhunter's one weakness is wool hoodings. So
It's in the
I can't
origin
believe
story, Chris Bird. Come on.
I forgot to read it. But I think this is my big problem with the story is that when like DC moved away or when they went to the New 52, part of that reason was to sort of get rid of all the complications and all the fuss of having this gigantic multiverse with all these different versions of characters. Like they were trying to pare that down into one consistent universe, and then like here we go 2 years in or whatever, and already they've broken the multiverse back open again.
Well, I mean, they already had Earth 2, so this is the third Earth, to my
Ye-
knowledge, that they've
Right.
introduced.
Yeah,
I
so
think it's safe to say, and I think that the last thing I'll bring up before I move on to the final part of our Forever Evil discussion is I think it's safe to say that they've created enough mystery and enough interesting stuff here to make it not such a DC-esque crossover event. Whatever the ramifications of Forever Evil end up being, I like to think that hopefully it's going to impact the DC universe in some major way. Which leads me to my last conversation topic for Forever Evil, and that is Nightwing. So in the first issue of Forever Evil, they capture Dick Grayson, and they reveal the crime syndicate captures him, and they reveal to the world that he is the Nightwing is Dick Grayson, and this essentially ruins Dick Grayson's life. Not to mention the fact that he's bound and being beaten unmercifully uh, quite frequently, which is probably not fun. I don't know. I've never been tortured, but um, a lot of people think that the ultimate goal of Forever Evil is to kill him off, to have Nightwing die, which would be a huge, huge, huge blow to the heroes of the DC universe because he's kind of like their moral compass and he's one of the pillars that's been around for a really long time. What do you guys think about that?
I feel like it's probably smart, good publicity. Let everybody know that one of the most important Batman characters is dying, and that will get more readers interested. But I don't know. I don't know if it's really necessary.
I know. I think it's kind of weird because like you just triggered something when you said that. As like I'm thinking they just killed Damian Wayne a couple
Yeah,
months
they
ago.
literally just killed him. I don't.
Like, why would you go and kill Dick Grayson? Like, unless you're trying to like start a Batman's having a mental breakdown arc again, which they've done like a million times.
Yeah, at least twice in the New 52. So with the Court of Owls and the Joker.
Hmm.
I mean, maybe they're trying to bring back good old Tim. Maybe they want him to be Robin again. I don't know what they're doing. They're killing all the boy wonders. Maybe they want to introduce another one, like
It
besides
literally,
Jason and Tim. Like maybe they want to bring in another one, or maybe have Batman vow that he'll never, ever, ever, ever have another sidekick ever, ever,
Triple
and
ever.
actually mean it this time.
Yeah, and I mean it, guys.
it could be anybody.
Yeah.
So the last, anyway, that's it for pretty much for Forever Evil. Again, Forever Evil, it's DC's crossover event. They're on issue 4 right now. 5, 6, and 7 come out. It'll be over in March after that. Big status quo shift has been promised from DC for the DC universe. Got the Crime Syndicate, Ultraman, Power Ring, Superwoman, Owlman, Grid, Deathstorm, Sea King, Johnny Quick. Pretty cool
Comcast.
characters. Comcast, Chromecast.
Johnny.
So that's about it for that. Next title we're going to go into is Superior Spider-Man. So Superior Spider-Man is our other book for the month, or for the week, sorry.
For the week.
Superior Spider-Man we picked as a group because we really had a lot of dialogue around that last week. And I kind of wanted to start talking about Superior Spider-Man with an overview of the series, and then we can kind of go into some of the differences. So an overview of Superior Spider-Man right now is that in the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man, the final showdown between Dr. Octopus and Peter Parker takes place, and Otto dies and transfers his consciousness into Peter Parker's body. When he does that, he obtains all of Peter Parker's memories and feelings, and he learns why Spider-Man, why Peter Parker is the way that he is, and he kind of realizes the error of his ways, and he vows to be a more superior Spider-Man than Peter Parker ever was. So, throughout the whole period of this book, which if you just listen to that description and you haven't been reading Superior Spider-Man, I'm sure you're probably like, what did he just say? Because that makes no sense. But if you read issue 700 and then the first couple issues of Superior Spider-Man, you'll figure it out pretty quick. It's not too difficult. There's a lot of differences between the Peter Parker Spider-Man and the Otto Octavius, which is, at this point, no one is referring to Spider-Man as Peter Parker anymore. They're referring to him as, fans, that is, referring to him as Otto. So it's kind of weird. Dr. Octopus is now Spider-Man. So what are you guys thinking about it? We got some differences between Peter and Otto.
Okay.
I love it.
Go ahead. I'll save my monologue for later.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a really big fan of it. I mentioned this last week. I think it's awesome that Peter Parker, one of the most known figures in all of comic books, isn't Spider-Man anywhere in the Marvel Universe right now. And this being the main book, I think it's really interesting seeing how Otto has made improvements over what Peter did as Spider-Man. I could argue that Otto is a more effective Spider-Man than what Peter ever was, which I think is really interesting.
Cool.
Indeed. I agree. I think he's a way better, Spider-Man as far as efficiency goes, getting the job done, all these things that he has implemented, the like spy bots and all this stuff. And his stance on all the villains, I mean, he's killed a couple already, which was cool, and I liked reading it, but I'm done with him. I want Peter Parker back. I've had my fun. Please. That's all I want. Like, I thought it was really cool, what they were doing. And then when I realized that he's not coming back anytime soon, or if, ever, I was just turned off.
I agree and I disagree. I think it's anybody who's read, and this is just me because I say anybody, but I mean Nick Isolde. I lost interest with Spider-Man because I feel like writers started kind of recycling the same stories, and I feel like this puts a on the character by kind of what we were talking about last time, where put you can't really judge a person until you walk a mile in their shoes, and when Otto has this entire idea of who Spider-Man is and that he's his arch nemesis, and when he obtains all of Parker's responsibilities and his life, and he sees all the things that he's went through, he gains this newfound respect for him. And it's interesting to see how people who were raised entirely differently react to having this power, this responsibility. And Otto, for as vicious and ruthless as Spider-Man is, he has his goods and he has his bads. And I think it's a lot more interesting for me, at least, to watch that side of the struggle than it is for me to watch Peter Parker repeat the same things that he's done since the 60s when he was invented.
Over and over. Right.
I don't know. I kind of agree with Garrick. I'm really torn about this book. I think it's really good. It's a ton of fun to read, and it's doing things that Spider-Man books have never done before, which I guess is great. But I also, like Jordan said, there's nowhere in the Marvel Universe right now where I can read a Peter Parker as Spider-Man comic. I'm not okay with that.
Actually, that's not true, Chris. They have Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man 700.1.2.3.4 and .5, which are Peter Parker stories, and those actually have
But
all
those
came
don't
out
count.
in the last
Temporary.
month. So.
I have those all sitting around.
Yeah, and
I haven't
they're
read them
okay.
yet.
I also feel like
And you know why you haven't read them, Chris? Because Peter Parker sucks as
I have read
Spider-Man for the last couple of years. But oh, you have read them?
Go to
Sorry.
your room.
What joke's on you? I'm in my room. Yeah, of my dad's house, our spare room. Go ahead.
My other worry is that this comic, with the erasing of Peter Parker, it pushes a lot of buttons, and I don't know. So I think Dan Slott sometimes is just writing this to make me mad. I wish it weren't what it is. But I feel like he's just
You
trying
and me
to push
both,
my
my
buttons.
friend.
That makes me angry.
He posted on Twitter the other day. He went, "This next issue is for you, Chris," and it was just an emoji with his middle finger up.
But that's how I feel every time a new issue comes out.
I don't know. I'm loving it. I'm loving the shakeup.
And it really seems to be a bimodal distribution of people out there. Some people love this take on Spider-Man. Some people hate this take on Spider-Man. So I think Chris and Garrick seem to be in the hate camp, and Jordan and I seem to be in the love camp. But I think that the reason that
I both hate and love this book.
I think I'm more in this was really awesome, and now I'm just getting more and more aggravated with it as it goes along.
I mean,
think it's like
But a good counter for it was Ultimate Spider-Man with Miles. Like, he's more Peter Parker, so I enjoy reading that a lot more than Superior.
there has to be a build-up, though. Like, there has to be a period of time, whether it be a couple months or a couple years, where Spider-Man isn't Peter Parker, because it's going to make fans appreciate him when he comes back, and he will come back. Like, you can't release movies where Spider-Man is Peter Parker and have no comic book where Spider-Man is Peter Parker. It doesn't make any sense. Fans get confused.
Right now, leader of the Goblin Nation is totally Peter Parker.
It's entirely, that's exactly my thought, and we'll get to that in when we talk about the arcs that are going on.
What's your thought?
yeah,
But
it's my fault.
It's mine now.
but with the story here, again, a lot of people happy about it. A lot of people are waiting for Parker to come back, and it strengthens the emotional bond there with the character. Think about, I mean, I want to draw a comparison between when Hal Jordan freaked out and killed a bunch of people in the late 80s, early 90s, and Kyle Rayner became Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
I know Kyle Rayner is Jordan's favorite Green Lantern, so a lot of people hated Kyle Rayner. Like, I don't like him at all. I think he's a terrible Green Lantern. But
Tell us how you really feel, Nick.
But anyway, here's the
I'm
point.
sorry, Jordan. That's uncalled for.
Here's the point. when Hal it only strengthened it so that when Hal Jordan came back, he was better received. You know, Kyle for what he is still a very very popular Green Lantern. Same thing with the Flash and Wally West and Barry Allen and those comparisons. It's interesting to see what they're doing. I mean, even with Batman, when Dick Grayson was Batman for a little while, and he Batman time traveled and shit.
I
We're not going
thought
to
Dick
talk
was
about
a
that. That
great
sucked. I did
Batman,
too.
though.
If you get a
Yeah.
chance, read. If you ever get a chance to read The Black Mirror by Scott Snyder, it's one of the best Batman as Dick Grayson as Batman books that's out there. Um, Anywho, we're going to talk a little bit about Superior Spider-Man's arcs right now. They're finishing up Darkest Hours, and they're moving into Goblin Nation, which is the name of the two arcs that are going on right now. To start the conversation around Darkest Hours, basically Venom, who is currently Flash Thompson, comes to town looking to stop some criminals, and he has his first run-in with Superior Spider-Man, and Superior Spider-Man promptly strips him of the Venom symbiote and turns into what you see in the center of the screen here, which is an ultra badass. What do you guys
I,
think of
I
this?
I personally think this is probably it might be like the beginning of the end of Otto's run as Spider-Man, because everybody is getting real suspicious of Spider-Man again. There's a couple
In the
people,
Avengers.
spoiler alert, yeah. There's a couple people that pretty much already know that Otto is Spider-Man. And now the Avengers are alerted again for the second time that Spider-Man's off killing people, doing things that Peter never would have done. So just about everybody is suspicious of him.
Hmm.
He has an army. Otto has raised an army of spider thugs, and he's using robots to survey the entire city, which kind of goes against a lot of the things that Peter was about. And you see the coolest thing about Darkest Hours to me is you see the connection that the symbiote has with Flash Thompson, who's the current host of Venom in the series that just ended, and you see how it reacts when it goes to Peter. It doesn't like him. It doesn't know him, because you have to keep in mind that the Venom symbiote, is its own entity. It knows all about Peter because it's been merged with him before, and it knows that this isn't Peter that I know. This is something else. What's going on? And it's afraid, so it's reacting. But it's a cool story. I don't know where we're gonna go with it, but I'm more excited about reading this Venom than I have been of anything that's came out since like the middle of the '90s when it comes to that character. Let's move to Goblin Nation, which is the first cover you're gonna see all the way on the right here. You're gonna see the Goblin King, otherwise known as the Green Goblin, facing off with the Hobgoblin. Um, what are you guys thinking about this arc?
I mean,
Um,
the undertones of it have kind of been working their way through all the way since the beginning, and I've I'm thinking about the same thing that Chris mentioned earlier. Since Peter kind of disappeared earlier on, that's when I've really started to think that the Goblin King probably is going to end up being Peter Parker.
Um, I think that would be a really cool. Dan Slott says that he's hidden so many Easter eggs in these books that's going to tell you a little bit more about them, but I just don't know enough about the Spider-Man lore in the last couple years to really talk about them. So maybe, I don't know, if Chris is following this pretty intently, maybe there's some stuff you've picked up on that we haven't.
um, I don't know.
We're looking to you for advice, Chris Bird, the
Guide us with
Spider-Man
your ways.
saint.
For you. I wish I did, but I haven't seen any of these Easter eggs.
I, I think that's why they're Easter eggs, man. Like, they're hard to find.
Yeah,
But
Easter eggs are supposed to be colorful and stand out.
Chris Bird's blinded by rage. Every page he turns, it's hard for him to concentrate.
Dan Slott, the writer of Superior Spider-Man, said that the entire Spider-Man universe is going to change at the end of Goblin Nation, which is basically what every writer says about every arc that they
I mean, it
write.
kind of has to. Even when Peter Parker comes back, I mean, Doctor Octopus, Otto Octavius, whoever has been a more effective Spider-Man, but he's also been a lot colder. He's a jerk. He's kind of a douchebag. And he's slowly severing all the like major ties that Peter Parker has had in his life. So regardless, whenever Peter Parker comes back, he's gonna have to deal with a lot of shit. Um, that that Otto Octavius has kind of screwed up in his life. So
He
it'll
also
change
messed up
someday.
his credit score pretty bad.
Yeah, it's terrible now.
He
He
took
also
out
has a small
a
girlfriend.
bank loan for a juicer, and he never paid anything back.
Spider juice.
So those are the two books that we picked for this month. Forever Evil by Jeff Johns, arts by David Finch, and Superior Spider-Man, who's written by Dan Slott, and art is by a bunch of people. So I think it kind of has to be to keep up with their hectic pace, their hectic scheduling that they go on. I mean, having a title that comes out twice a month
That's one of their biggest titles.
yeah. I mean, and it sells. It's the best selling comic that's on the market right now. So check it out. If you're not reading anything, if you want a good place to start reading comics, everybody knows about Spider-Man. Pick up Superior Spider-Man. It's good. If you want a good place to start with what's going on in the DC universe,
Action
Forever
Comics
Evil.
#1.
If you have a spare 2 mil laying around, you can start there. Um, we're moving on to some TV and film stuff to end for the last couple minutes. First thing we're going to talk about here is the Guardians of the Galaxy still shot that was released a couple days ago. First thing we're going to have up on the screen here is the promotional art, what they released a couple months ago. What do you guys think of the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm really excited for it. I think it's awesome that Marvel's branching out and kind of doing more of a sci-fi movie. I love the fact that all of their movies don't have to be so grounded in reality. I mean, the most interesting characters in Guardians of the Galaxy are a talking tree and a talking raccoon, which is awesome.
You never call Rocket Raccoon a raccoon, by the way. That was your first mistake.
He really doesn't like that.
I know he doesn't
Um,
like that.
So the Guardians of the Galaxy, the most well-known interpretation of them is Star-Lord, Peter Quill, who's in the middle. You have, I think you say Gamora is the chick in the picture. You have Drax the Destroyer, who's basically a human wrecking machine, who's played by Batista, former WWE champion. You have
Of the world.
Rocket Raccoon all the way on the far left, and then you have Groot, the tree humanoid creature who can only say his own name.
I always get those
Um,
mixed up.
they just released this new picture, which we're putting up, and it is of the actual actors and actresses playing their parts. Basically, the same photo, except with the actual people in it, and they stay remarkably grounded to what this promotional art looks like. They didn't do a whole lot of alterations to it. What are you guys thinking of the looks, the tone, the feel of this? Because if you've already seen Thor, I won't tell you about the Easter egg at the end, but it has to do with Guardians of the Galaxy, so you do get a little bit of a look into their world. What are you guys thinking of the tone, the atmosphere of this movie?
I mean, I really, really like the look so far. I think it looks fantastic. I was really worried how they would make the transition to the screen just because they are such a unique cast of characters. But it looks really, really good, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think it looks great. All the characters look unique, distinct, and they still stay true mostly to the comic book look. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they look really good.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
excited to see a trailer when that finally happens.
Oh, for
I,
sure.
I'm excited to hear Bradley Cooper's voice as Rocket Raccoon. And the last topic we have for this, which is Vin Diesel was recently announced as the voice of Groot, which, again, Groot's the tree creature. Groot can only say one thing, which is, I am Groot.
I am Groot.
That's all he can say.
Well, that's arguable, my friends.
Go ahead and argue it.
if I mean, not to be that guy, but if you'd read Dan Abnett's Guardians of the Galaxy run, you would know that Groot can say other stuff. We can just only understand the word Groot.
Mm.
Oh,
That's all we can hear when he says it. He has an insane conversation with some like super smart guy from the Inhumans, helps him design a series of machines and technology that save the galaxy. I mean, the man is a prince and a scientist.
Knowledge is
and
power.
he's also an Ent, which is a shepherd of the forest.
This
He's
is
also a tree beard.
spoiler alert. This is actually the third Hobbit movie.
So the guy who's directing Guardians of the Galaxy, James Gunn, said that he's like, you're not going to believe how much emotion Vin Diesel gets across when he says "I am Groot" in the ways that he says it. And I mean, as good of a voice actor as Vin Diesel is, if you've ever seen the Iron Giant,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard to have one line and really just nail it. But if there's one thing that the Fast and Furious film series has made me realize is that he is a top caliber actor. So we'll see what they do with it.
At least he doesn't have to memorize a lot of lines. He can focus on what he's going to do in every scene.
Oh, he's gonna screw it up every time.
One or the other.
Yeah, he's probably going to yell something like O'Connor. Oh, that's too soon. Next topic of discussion. This is actually a couple weeks old, but we haven't discussed it on here, so we're going to move on to the other big Marvel blockbuster announcement, which is the casting of Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. So Ant-Man is one of the he's been an Avenger, and he's one of the, I guess to the general public, he's one of the lesser known Avengers, but he gets his own movie in 2015 or 16. And Paul Rudd, from such classics as Clueless,
Anchorman.
Anchorman, This Is 40, Knocked Up, a lot of different movies. He is going to be playing him.
Look at that guy.
Thoughts and feelings?
I feel excited about it. I mean, he has the look. He's a funny guy. He's a great actor. I think he'll fit perfectly into the Marvel universe right now.
My big concern. So I do think Paul Rudd is an awesome actor, but I feel like he's always had someone else cast beside him
Hmm.
that I don't know. We've never seen Paul Rudd act on his own. He's always like a major supporting character, but he's never been like the main character. Um,
Um,
so it'll be interesting to see him
he's
try.
also never been in anything relatively close that I've ever seen to an action film. So
That's true.
he's never really
Clearly
had-
never watched Clueless.
Yeah. He does save Alicia Silverstone from walking on the side of the road in that film, so kind of a hero.
There's two things that I'm really excited about with this casting. One, I'm curious to see if he plays Hank Pym or Scott Lang, because I feel like Paul Rudd is a little bit more Scott Langy, if you will, than
Hmm.
Hank Pymish. And since Whedon and everybody have already said that Hank Pym has nothing to do with Ultron and no part of Age of Ultron, that further leads me to believe that they might go with the Scott Lang variation of Ant-Man instead of the classic Hank Pym.
Before we started
The classic Eric O'Grady Ant-Man. Never forget.
Before we started this Comicast, we were sitting here discussing that since Age of Ultron, which is the title of the second Avengers movie, is coming out before Ant-Man comes out, and Ant-Man's biggest real accomplishment in the comics and biggest opponent that he's faced has been Ultron. It's kind of going to be interesting to see who it is that he fights, whether it's just common criminals or somebody like Egghead or Porcupine or those like weird B-list villains that Ant-Man always fought. It's going to kind of be interesting to see if they have him fight one of those guys or if they make someone up like they did with Iron Man.
Yeah.
With like the Ironmonger and whoever Mickey Rourke's character was supposed to be in the second one. I hate that movie.
Guys,
Real terrible.
Ironmonger's a dude. He is the original Iron Man villain.
But Someone just said Frieza. It could be Frieza.
It's probably Frieza.
Not
It's
unlikely.
definitely it's definitely possibly Frieza.
I mean, they could
Um,
just give him somebody else's villain. Like,
ex- like Frieza, exactly. Ant
I
Man,
didn't mean Goku's.
The movie
Ant Man.
takes
I have seen him in the comics use a spirit bomb,
Okay.
so we'll see.
the movie takes place after, I mean, after the events of Ultron. So there, I mean, his villain could be some aspect of Ultron. It could be like Jocasta or
Yeah,
their Ultron.
exactly.
Do
Little
we
Ultron.
already know that Paul Rudd's not going to make an appearance in the second Avengers movie?
We technically don't.
Just saying, just throwing it out there.
That
True
was
that.
not gonna make an
He could,
appearance.
he could show up and do something.
Yeah, he could be not dead.
Yeah.
Like
It's true.
Thanos isn't dead right now, but uh, so there's a lot of. It's definitely again the cool thing about Marvel that I will say is that they're not going with the easiest paths. They're picking characters that are a little bit more obscure, with talks of people like Black Panther, Doctor Strange,
Which would be
Ant
awesome, by the way.
Ant-Man, and then I'm hearing other things, other movies out there that people are talking about, and it's just cool to see them building this really weird and awesome cast of characters. They're throwing Falcon into the new Captain America movie, and they're just really they're broadening their horizons, which is strong for their cinematic universe. And hopefully, this movie or any of the other movies don't produce a bomb and or a spirit bomb or anything like that and ruin anything. I'm kind of bummed now. That person wrote Frieza, and I know that Ant-Man isn't going to fight Frieza. And that would be a sick Marvel versus like Capcom style game. Like Ant-Man faces Frieza. Go.
And then he would lose immediately, Nick.
Yeah, it's true. He'd get death beamed. The last topic that we have for film is recently. This is just brand new information. Came out yesterday. So if you haven't heard it and you're hearing it now, guess what? You're welcome. We're about to mess you up with some knowledge.
Marvel has just announced the
About to
Amazing
blow your
Spider-Man 2.
mind.
The Hobbit 2
So-
now in theaters.
Have you guys heard about this? Never mind. So the last thing here is The Rock is actually in discussions with DC Comics to play in a movie. They haven't announced anything yet. The Rock just tweeted something about he was sitting down with DC Comics for a film that was coming out after 2014. So the internet is losing their minds
Their
over
collective
what's going
minds.
on. Because I mean, say what you want about The Rock, if he's in a film, there's a good chance I'm probably going to watch it. I'm not going to tell anybody that I watched it, but I'm probably going to watch it.
You just told millions of viewers.
Yeah.
He was
Right there.
actually
We have 12 viewers, so
12, that's million. They don't want to put all the zeros
Oh.
there to
Oh, yeah.
intimidate people.
yeah, exactly. So we're going to have tons of opportunities to talk about it. So the first and foremost, the first thing that people are speculating because it was part of the tweet is Jon Stewart. This would signify a huge move on DC's part to reboot the Green Lantern franchise
Yeah.
and essentially cut out the Hal Jordan aspect of it. What do you guys think about The Rock as Jon Stewart?
I
don't like it.
I don't like
I don't
it
like it.
either.
I don't like it for two reasons. One, the Green Lantern movie was not good, but it wasn't Ryan Reynolds' fault that it wasn't good. And I think that he's an amazing Hal Jordan. And two, The Rock is not black enough to be Jon Stewart.
No, the Jon Stewart just doesn't give a shit about anything. You just walk by him and he'll bitch slap you. Like, I don't know if The Rock can do that. He's too nice. Like, he's huge and will kill you, but he's not Jon Stewart. You know what I'm saying?
Jon Stewart.
Look at his face in the left picture. Like, are you messing with that? No.
Yeah, he doesn't really. I mean, again, The Rock is an actor, and anybody who's seen movies like Get Shorty and things like that, or not Get Shorty. I forgot what it is. It's the predecessor. What was it?
Um,
Anyhow, he can play weird roles, but and he's done cool stuff, but I just think it's people might not necessarily identify him with Jon Stewart. He doesn't really seem to be that
Yeah,
kind of guy.
My
I
guess
personally,
is that he'll be reprising his role as the Tooth Fairy. in the universe. If I had to guess.
That's actually the fourth Christopher Nolan Batman movie, and you heard it here first.
The Tooth Fairy. I mean, that sounds like a Batman villain to me.
I don't want to say that as soon as I said that, our number of viewers went up, but
Um, so
news history.
there's another school of thought out there, which is the same school that I'm in, that he's possibly going to play a character in the Batman versus Superman movie,
hmm
which is the reason that we have Brainiac on the screen right now, because my number one guess for his role would be a Brainiac, because I mean, look at the pictures, like you can almost superimpose them on top of each other, like
Yeah.
The Rock would be a freaking awesome Brainiac. Like he doesn't have to work too far out of his comfort zone acting wise. He can be a little bit more brooding and calm and collective. And Brainiac is a very physical, very aggressive challenge for Superman. And he's also super smart, which means he would be a good challenge for the Darkest of Nights.
Yes.
Now I mean, I don't know why. I guess I don't see why he has to play a major role. When I heard that he was going to play anything, my initial assumption is that he was going to show up as like John Irons as Steel.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that.
I feel like he makes a much better John Henry Irons than he does a Brainiac. Who
Does that mean we might get another like Shaq Fu video game? That'd be sweet.
Hopefully.
I almost don't want The Rock to play a villain. He doesn't come off like he's always a good guy in just about every movie that you watch.
He was the Scorpion King.
I mean, come on.
Was he?
I mean,
But the Scorpion King was a tragic character. He was originally a hero. Let's never forget.
true.
Brendan Fraser's was a tragic character. The other couple, there's two other possibilities that we have there that we were thinking about as a group collectively. One of them was possibly Lex Luthor. And if you see the picture that we're going to have posted up here of Lex Luthor from the Superman animated series, there are a lot of similarities to that character as well. I don't know if they would go that kind of route where you have a Lex Luthor that's physically larger than Superman, but
I don't think they can.
Yeah. I mean, he could have a suit the whole time from the beginning of the movie.
This picture.
but I mean he does kind of look like him, and you know it's one of those things where you never know, because Zack Snyder's such a weird director, and the people that he picks for the roles that he picks are sometimes not the best choice. Sorry, Zack. Sorry if you're listening, but
I mean, they could do the kind of thing like in the Captain America movie if they wanted to. If they needed to make him smaller, they could do that whole deal. But
yeah,
that would just look kind of that would be
if you're gonna pay The Rock what The Rock is gonna be making to be in a movie, you're gonna have him without a shirt on punching something.
all
Like
right.
that's a deal.
I mean, I'm just saying, if they really wanted to waste an opportunity, they could do that for sure.
The
I feel like
very
they almost
Good.
probably want him if it's somebody. I mean, The Rock was. I think I read this on like Forbes or something. The Rock was the highest paid actor of this past year. Like he made the most money in movies. I
Wasn't he
feel
in
like they
like
probably would want him in a role. What?
wasn't he in like 4 Fast and Furious movies in 2013?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I mean,
But I
he's
feel
gonna
like they would
be.
probably want him,
I think that
or he can be in
that
more than one.
I think that the last person that we discussed as a group was Superman as The Rock as Superman's hulking nemesis Doomsday. Um, that was the very last one. It kind of seems to be going around the internet too, but I think that's also kind of a crapshoot of a character choice.
So did we all decide that the Jason Momoa rumors were nothing but rumors and it's not true at all? Now that The Rock is in discussions with DC, or
I
do you
I
think
guess
both of
because
them?
we haven't heard anything about him for a while, so there can't be. I don't know if there.
It's
I mean,
it's
that
only
doesn't
been
necessarily.
2 weeks, so I mean they
Yeah.
could both be in the movie. Just throwing
Ooh,
that
that
out
could be
there.
like maybe like a cool
Tag team.
Doomsday, muscly Lex Luthor arm wrestling match. That'd be cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's also a possibility, but Doomsday's
He also he could play Martian Manhunter. I mean that
Yeah.
you can't
That
The
rule
was
that out.
Rock.
The
Yeah.
Rock could The Rock could definitely play a Martian Manhunter role. I
I think
think
he'd be
that
good.
we were talking about this earlier. You just mentioned this 5 seconds ago, but if you're going to pay The Rock what it costs to have The Rock in a movie, he's going to be the central character in that film. So I don't
Right.
think it's entirely impossible for us to think that he's going to be headlining his own film, whether it's he's Martian Manhunter in a Martian Manhunter film, he is Green Lantern in a Green Lantern reboot, he is Harley Quinn, sexy reboot of Suicide
Yes,
Squad. Uh,
Could be
please.
Lobo.
he could be Lobo.
Can you
That would
smell
be
what Harley's
he
cooking?
he was attached to Lobo as a character for years in development hell, so you never know. But it's just kind of interesting to see. You have one of the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Definitely has the drawing power. He will bring people to their seats. He will put people in the theater, and that's something that DC Comics needs when they're facing off against the juggernaut that is the Marvel cinematic universe right now. So there's a lot of possibilities there. Um, Anybody have anything else for film right now?
No, I think that's it for this week.
Okay, so we'll go back a little bit here to talk a little bit more about our sponsor, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the giveaways, and then we'll let you guys go for the day. Um, so again, our sponsor for this week's Comic Cast was Four Horsemen Comics. They are located in the Morgantown Mall. This week's giveaway, for those of you guys who are interested in getting some free action, uh, our runner-up prize is going to be a copy of Forever Evil #1. Get you started with that series. It's one of the books we talked about this week. If you're tuning in late, and then the grand prize for this week is a 3-month, 6-issue subscription to Superior Spider-Man, which was our other book of the month. So all you have to do to be eligible to win that is first, you have to like our page on Facebook, which probably everyone here has already done, if you're here at least. You have to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hopefully our Twitch channel so that you can continue to follow us. And then, very last, you have to comment on the YouTube video. And what we're looking for out of a comment, yeah, I know it's 3 steps, sorry. What we're looking for out of a comment is we're looking for constructive criticism or anything that can help make the cast better. Whether it's ideas for future shows, ideas for things that would make the cast better, maybe less cyborg jokes, things of that nature.
Or more.
Yeah, definitely. I could always do more. I could do more. But I want to thank you guys all for tuning in today. It's something that we're all pretty pumped about. Keeps us motivated. We have about 15 people listening in right now, which I mean isn't a huge amount, but I mean it's almost a classroom full, so it's pretty cool.
We appreciate
Um,
everybody that's here as well.
um, we have improved this page significantly. Again, if you're tuning in for the latter half of this and you didn't get to show up for the first half, the Twitch page has been greatly updated by Mr. Garrett Gilmore. Has an all new About Us section, tells you a little bit about who we are, what we do. You have a Follow the Core section, which gives you links to our Facebook page and our Twitter page. If you want to ask us a question, we will probably answer everything that we get until we're mega stars and we don't have time for you little people anymore. We have a content section on here, which is going to give you links to our YouTube page and our Twitch account, which is what you're watching this on right now. We have our frequently asked questions section, where if you guys do have other questions, there's stuff in there. It's going to give you some rules. And then the very last section is the Deadpool to donate. If you click on Deadpool, he will take you to our PayPal page, where if you want to make a donation, it would be greatly appreciated. Anything that you guys donate, we will turn back into the cast. We're going to be using any profits that we make from this to improve the quality of the cast, whether it be add video, add better visuals, improve the site, or add better microphones, things of that nature, or even just have money to buy better stuff to give away as prizes to you guys. It's all up in the air right now. It all depends on what we do. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Does anybody else have anything else for the good of the group before I lead them out?
Um, no, I think you pretty much summed it up. Did you say follow us on Twitter? We have a Twitter at Legends Cast.
Yep.
Also, we have these. I just put them up on the screen. The stuff from last week. So
Oh yeah, I forgot
if
about
you
that.
guys want to go back a video, we'll have 2 videos up. If you want to comment on both, on the first video that we uploaded, we'll be giving away these 2. So leave a comment for that one as well.
Yeah, we brought that up this morning. It's the Mighty Avengers variant, #1, Deadpool, and the Thor God of Thunder #13, Chris Hemsworth variant. Those are still up in the air because we didn't get our YouTube page up. So again, same rules apply. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube and our Twitch page, comment on the YouTube video for the prizes that you want, and we'll pick a winner by our next Comicast. They are going to be every Thursday going forward at 8 p.m. Or if you don't have time to miss it, or you miss it, sorry about that. If you don't have time to get on the cast and you miss it, then that's not cool, bro. Like, just show up on time. Like, this is
It's not
life.
hard.
And then other than that, you always can watch the cast and listen to it again at work or whatever. It's going to be on our YouTube page, so it'll be on there relatively shortly. So that is it for us today. Thank you guys again, and support your local comic store.